I'm giving somebody the blues today.
Today we have a bit of a news update. We're going to be covering topics that was previously discussed in the Tekken Talk, tweets from the developers from after, things about DLC, just everything about Tekken 8 that's been happening over the past 3 weeks. Now let's jump into it. So this is something that a lot of people have been highlighting and everyone has been talking about. Tekken 8 selling 2 million copies in the first 3 weeks. There is some news articles here. I have two. You can pause and read them in details, but they basically say that this is just rumors. We don't actually know where Tekken 8 is in terms of sales. I think everyone should wait until Bandai Namco officially confirms the number, because I see a lot of people using that 2 million copies sold as motivation, as fuel for their hatred against the shop. I think the shop is trash regardless. Any shop in any video game is trash. I'm not buying anything, but I'm just bringing this up because I don't want people to be misinformed or shaping their ideas based off a rumor. Here's where the developers also do some correcting of misinformation as well. Michael Murray put out a very energetic tweet and says, WTF, some people just write random stuff in Reddit. Who said characters were free in practice? But Michael Murray made a follow-up tweet and said, I deleted the post because although true, I didn't express it very professionally. I'm sorry. I was upset about the people intentionally spreading information that falsely gets people hopes up about something. So you guys all remember like a week ago when we first discovered that players can dress up their characters in those uniforms and then also have their names, basically slurs. We wanted the developers to respond, and this person got a response from Michael Murray. It says, I'm gonna need y'all to see this and tell me what the problem is, because if this is what we're doing, I have a major problem, and I did report him. Not blaming anyone besides him, but this is a problem. Michael Murray says, I can't police all the idiots online. That's what the report function is for. Please use it. And this is also what they were echoing in the Tekken Talk as well. You can report people. We're basically collecting a lot of legal information so we could do it right, do it properly, but we're going to take action. And then they also were saying too, this is what I forgot to mention in my video, is that you can block the person. Ikeda responds to someone and basically says this: when you block them, you will not find that opponent in ranked matches. I don't know if this is ranked match only or player match as well. A tweet from Harada clearing up a little bit of misinformation. Responding to a tweet from HypeBuffGigas, this was posted to the Tekken subreddit. Harada basically says there is a slight misunderstanding about this. DLC characters will have their own story mode. Rather than adding story mode for each character, we're going to add a story mode for each additional characters, including Eddy, in the summertime after May. Okay, so that's like around May, June, July. See, so let's keep reading first. Before I say let's keep reading. To show how they were involved in Tekken 8's story mode, The Dark Awakens. Not just an expansion of Eddy's story when they add only Eddy, but a cohesive expansion of other characters involved in the story, which will happen sometime between May and summer. So while the original Tekken characters will be added as DLC, will be described in terms of how they relate to the main storyline, they will not be in the form of separate episodes for each character, but rather an expansion pack for the main storyline. The main storyline can be broken up into smaller pieces for each character. Of course, these will be offered for free as story expansions that can be enjoyed without having to purchase DLC characters, etc. This is absolutely fire, bro. Holy smokes. I read this the first time and I kind of misunderstood it, but I just read it now and holy smokes. So what they're going to do is add story DLC, like a main story expansion at the same time as Eddy, and it will, one, include Eddy, but two, it will just continue the story. This is what we were predicting and expecting, but just thinking about the other stuff we saw, the leaks. Devil Reina. This is a major reveal at the end of Tekken 8. You also have Jun Kazama showing up in a major way. They said that Lydia was supposed to play a big role in the story. I don't know how many elements they will tie into this, because you got to pay attention to the word from Harada. He says, only with Eddy. So this is not something that they're going to do with every character. Don't expect the next DLC character to have another continuation and another continuation. This is something that's only going to happen in the month of spring, and it's going to include Eddy, but it's also going to focus on just everything. Whether or not Jin and Kazuya really doesn't have the devil gene Devil Reina possibly taking over the mission with Aibatu, coming back stronger than ever. And then you also got to keep in mind the unreleased cutscenes of June and Leo. There's a lot of things here at play, and this tweet from Harada is so much more important than what I thought. I'm happy he clarified, because when they were talking about it in the live stream, I really wasn't putting that much focus on it, because I thought they were just talking about character episodes, but they're talking about everything but a character episode. Now the question that I ask is, once again, what we're already saying, yes, they're doing a main story continuation. Eddy will be a part of that, but will Eddy also have his own character episodes on top of that, and also all of the other DLC characters that follow? Maybe not, maybe that's too ambitious, but this tweet here from Harada is just tackling the main story DLC that we were all wondering about. And note, free. Free is so important, because when you think about how everyone is complaining about the skins, we'll get to that in a second. We have an update from Harada on that situation, but this is what he means. You take that money, you reinvest it, and maybe they can do a game mode or something. This is why I give them the benefit of the doubt. But let's move on. While we're on the topic of DLC, let's talk about another tweet from Harada. Someone says, announce the DLC characters soon, Harada. Basically, this person is impatient. Harada says, raccoon, summer, koala, autumn, hamster, winter. Of course, he's trolling, but I was also thinking, wait a minute, we've seen this kind of stuff before. I was thinking back to Shootsman. Shootsman was in the files of Tekken 8, and they were looking at the code names for characters. And I went back and I looked. Hamster is referring to Lily, koala is referring to Nina, and then for raccoon, I looked through the whole list twice, and I didn't see any character with the name raccoon. The closest thing to that was baboon, which is Raven. But regardless, summer, autumn, winter. Fire, bro. Fire. Okay. Nah, see, I was going to talk about the leak that, everyone was wondering about, the Marduk, the Fakaram, the Lydia, and the, Eddy. If that's actually true, it kind of makes sense for Lydia to be a DLC character, because, they said she was supposed to make a big impact in the story, and we were sitting around waiting for something to happen in Tekken 8, and nothing did. But if they are actually continuing the story the way he's saying here, then it makes sense for her to impact the story in a big way. But I don't know. Let's keep going. On the topic of outfits, everyone's favorite thing to be upset about. Me personally, I think $4 is reasonable, even though I'm not going to spend any money. I don't buy cosmetics in games. I don't participate in the store, in the shop. It's completely worthless. You're buying just a visual nothing. I don't do it. But regardless, I think $4 is reasonable. You look around at what everyone else is doing, $10, $15, $20. It could be worse, is my point. But a lot of people are very angry. A tweet by Fightstick says why, and it's a comparison between Tekken and Street Fighter, $10 and $4. This basically initiated a long thread between players where they were talking about all kind of things. Something here says, Mr. Harada, you don't even give us a team battle, and you're adding more costs. I want team battle as well. Yet you don't have to buy season passes, yet you can buy each DLC individually. Tekken is my favorite game since 2. I played it all, and I still don't see the addition of microtransactions as a good thing. So there's back and forth bickering between the community.
If you're a broke boy, just say so.
The one that Harada responds to says, use common sense instead of your feelings. The cost of making games has drastically increased. It's not taking 2 days anymore. You don't have to like microtransactions. It's how they make money for constantly updating the game. Harada responds to this person and says, development costs are 10 times more expensive than in the 90s and more than a double or nearly triple the cost of Tekken 7. Even the Fight Lounge servers are costly to maintain. In the past, there were so many specs that there wasn't online. Plus, they didn't have such high resolution, high definition. Now, so many people want the game to run and be supported for a long time. It costs money to continually update the game for that reason. However, he probably only keeps good memories of old games he experienced as a boy and does not pay attention to these changing times and increasing costs. The economic situation and everything else is changing. If we simply do nothing, as he suggests, the game will simply stop running in a few months. I think that is what he wants. So there's no point in talking to him about these realities. He wants us to stop economic activity and stop updating and supporting the game. So here's the thing, right? Really, bro, $4 is whatever. If you want to spend it, spend it. If you don't want to spend it because you feel like it's not fair, it's not, then don't spend it.